Hey, everybody, Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Welcome into the downtown Melbourne studios, where tonight we have a real special guest for you, a gentleman I've been trying to catch up with for a while. We usually get him in about once a year, and a very busy guy. And I tell you what, it's always fun to sit here and talk to Coach Schneider. So let's just bring him right on, head coach of the back-to-back 2S state champs, head coach Ryan Schneider. Coach, welcome back to the studios. How are you, man?
I'm doing excellent, man. I really appreciate you having me.
Good to have you here. Been a couple of months now since you guys won that second state championship. You've had the ring celebration or the ceremony celebration in Cocoa. What's sunk in about winning to this point?
Just that it's nonstop, and it truly is very difficult to win a championship. You know, especially in the state of Florida. You know, when you're competing at the high school level in the state of Florida, you know you're going to get some of the best players, some of the best coaches, and some of the best teams in the country. So we've already started preparing for next year. You know, the kids have been in the weight room focused on trying to do 3 in a row, and you know, it's a nonstop grind. But it's what I love, and it's what wakes me up every day.
What was the most difficult part about winning the second one?
Tell you the truth, it was after our schedule, making sure the kids understand that we could lose, you know, because we had such a tough schedule. And, you know, for being honest, our road to the state championship, you know, till we got to the Final Four, felt pretty good, you know, and it was you know, losing that halftime against South Sumter was a good moment for us that, you know, the kids realized, hey, man, you just can't roll your hats, you know, you can't roll your helmets out there and expect to win the game. But the kids realized, and the coaches realized that, you know, every week we have to be ready to go. We have to be prepared. And, you know, they did a great job. And I'm just honored to be a part of such a great organization.
You know, I think the thing that's amazing about Cocoa is the brand. You know, we talk about professional brands. We talk about collegiate brands. And to be a brand in high school is really a special thing. And I think, Coach, and you and I have discussed this before, and I've said to you how remarkable of a job I think you've done in how you took this over and how you've built this and stamped your brand on this. When people around this state and even now parts of this country hear Cocoa, what is it you want them to think?
Just a tough, disciplined team that will go out there and compete, just not on the field but off the field, and a group of young men who are professional in everything they do and try to be champions in everything they do. And, you know, you're talking about the brand. I had the fortunate experience this year of going to the National Coaching Clinic in Nashville, and you know, everything I own now says Cocoa. So I'm walking around the clinic, and everyone from California to New Hampshire knew what Cocoa was, and I was shocked how many people stopped me and just wanted to talk about, you know, what we're doing and how we're doing things, and it really is a brand. But it's not me. It's not any specific person. It's the entire school. It's the entire football program, and tell you the truth, it's the city of Cocoa that we're proud to represent. And you know, it's a special place.
I want to take you back to the St. Thomas game because I want to ask you. We know the crap that went on there. What good came from that for your football team?
So there's at the end of the game, I was so pissed off that I was going to go across the field and let the officials know about it. And I saw one of my other coaches who I expect extremely highly, and I saw him going. I'm like, well, if he's going, it must be okay.
Right.
I'm going to, because he'd be the one going, Ryan, stop, what are you doing? You know, so he's going, man. And then, don't get me wrong, there's nothing going to be like physical or anything. It was just, you know, let them know, you know, you blew some calls.
Right.
And then I looked over at Roger Harriet, who's the head coach of St. Thomas, who's one of my best friends. I see him giving it to the officials. And I'm like, wow, like, all right, this, you know, all right. And then after all that crap and after the handshake line, you know, I gave a speech to the team, which I don't even know what I said, you know, and I'm sitting back in the locker room. And, you know, they have this visitor locker room, and there's a hallway. I'm sitting out there I'm by myself just trying to collect my thoughts, trying to collect my, you know, like, what just happened, you know? And I'm sitting there, and, you know, I know you've heard it a million times. We've always talked about how you're going to handle adversity.
Yep.
How you're going to handle the tough moments. And right there at that moment as the head coach, I was handling it like crap. I was distraught. My emotions were out of control. And, you know, multiple kids walked by me and gave me a hug. I was like, Coach, I love you, man. And you know, a couple of the kids, you know, Josh Brown was one of them, looked me right in the eyes. He goes, Coach, how do we handle adversity? And I was like, all right, let's go.
There you
and
go.
It was one of those moments as a coach, like, because you preach stuff all the time and you talk about, things that you believe in all the time. And you wonder if they're actually hearing you or if it's just, they don't care anymore. And it was one of those moments as a coach, like, all right, these guys are actually listening.
Right.
Like, it's seeping in. And, every year you have moments that you'll never forget. And that's going to be the moment. It's not going to be winning the championship. It's not going to be, beating Seminole or beating, Venice.
Right.
It was actually the moment I remember about this year's team was that moment after the game of a heartbreaking loss that we got robbed.
Right.
But, things happen that the seniors came to me and picked me up at that moment, and it was beautiful.
And that tells you right there your message does get through here with the head coach of the two-time state champ, 6 times now in program history, Ryan Schneider, the Cocoa Tigers. And, Coach, let's go back to the championship game here real quick. First play of the game, they bust off a 53-yard run. What's going through your mind at that point?
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Our kids were just so excited that we got a little bit we over-pursued just a little bit. The kid made a good cut on a cutback, but, we'll be fine. There was nothing to worry about.
Through the years of this thing going to, do you feel, I can't imagine what it would be like for, Super Bowl's coming up this week, and I hear about these media guys, Coach, that have been to all 57 Super Bowls. I hear about these streaks, these things like this. 17 years, at least the state semifinals or more. Do you start feeling that? Do you think about that? How does that play in?
So, I mentioned before about, we're losing at halftime at South Sumter.
Right.
That was one of the thoughts at halftime that went through my head. Oh, my God, are we about to screw this up? Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, yeah, you think about it. It's an unbelievable accomplishment from a great school and a great community. I'm sure, I don't know the exact stats, but I'm sure no one else in the state can say they've done that.
Yeah, no.
And, we know what we've done and what our history is, and we're proud to keep representing Cocoa and keep that streak going and try to, take it as far as we can.
Each year you have a really special, I know, like, you and I talk about your senior classes a lot sometimes, particular senior class. When you look at this particular group of seniors, what are you going to remember about them?
Leadership.
Yeah.
Some of the best leaders I've ever been around. Some of the best men I've ever been around. I'm so proud that they've been a part of my life, that I've got to experience them. Just a great group of kids from, it was funny. That's one of the concerns we have for next year's team is, who's going to step up and be the leaders.
Right.
We're losing Parham, we're losing Samadra, we're losing Messiah, we're losing, Seymour, Xavier. I mean, there's a Josh and Nate. There's a lot of damn good football players.
Yeah.
Just not good football players. Great men.
Right.
Who really, at those moments, will take control. We need guys that will step up and take that leadership role. But we have a great group of kids coming up. But, yeah, this senior class will always be remembered as, winners, leaders, men who set the standard and keep the standard. And I think this group is, truly what it means to be a Cocoa Tiger.
Right. When as we record this, now this won't play for a couple of days, but National Signing Day will have come and gone again for this year, and you're going to have another very strong contingent of student athletes going to play at the next level, Coach, and congratulations on that success, because first of all, I don't think that gets talked about enough, because kids with GPAs of 1.75 don't get to do that. What you guys have done there academically needs to be discussed, and we constantly laud that on Brevard Sports Network. But I got to ask, what's it like to stand out on Richard Dick Blake Stadium on the 50-yard line and watch helicopters drop in of famous college coaches coming in from all over the country, and they're not doing that anywhere else in this county. They're doing it at Cocoa.
So every coach that came in, except for the Alabama coaches, no.
Right.
I consider like Norvell and Malzahn actually friends. So when they came and landed their helicopter, first thing off, I had to mess with them. I'm like, come on, man. Helicopter really couldn't make the drive. What the hell? But it shows you how, hard work and dedication and staying focused, will bring great success to just not the program, but for the individual players too, for the guys who are being recruited by them. And, like I said, it's an honor to be a part of such a great program and a great community that attracts, those type of men and attracts those type of coaches who want our guys. That was the biggest thing talking to these coaches after they talked to our kids is, a lot of the coaches came back and said, Coach, I never talked, I like the kid on the phone, but I love him face to face. And I never talked to a kid this mature and who asks this many good questions and, who is this focused. And that's what makes us special is we have some unbelievable players, but for me, it's more their minds and their hearts that separate us from other programs.
Coach, we've had some unbelievably great offensive linemen in this county. The Mike DeGories back in the day. I mean, I know I'm going to piss somebody off by not naming a group of offensive linemen that have done really great things in this county. No, I know the Raiders back in the 2000s had a really good one. But, Coach, I don't know that I've ever seen a better high school football offensive line than the one that you had this year with, the entire group from left tackle to right tackle, what they did, the camaraderie of those guys. Now, I know you're losing 4 of them, but I don't think that story of the Cocoa Tigers could or should be written in the last 2 years without talking about those guys. Tell me about them.
To show how dominant they've been, as a group, they've never lost a game in the county. They're undefeated in Brevard County. I think it's 22-0.
Yeah.
It's a great group of kids. Coach Parham does an unbelievable job preparing those guys and staying on them. It's a fun group. It's a group that will be sorely missed. It is one of my favorite groups I've been around. From Seymour to Xavier to Jonathan to Messiah and Twiz. It's a fun group that we will truly miss, but they all have bright futures and they're going to do great things, just not on the field, but in the, after they quit playing football, they have so many quality leadership and work ethic, attributes that they're going to do great things the rest of their lives.
Javen Boggs was a really good wide receiver last year, Coach. I'm talking about it in his sophomore season. He was good, but he wasn't what he was this year. What did he do? What did he do? How did Javen Boggs develop to becoming the first ever Florida Mr. Football?
Well, first of all, he has great work ethic. From the end of the year to now, he's up to 195 pounds. He's already put on 10 pounds of weight just off season. A good weight too. He looks great. The thing that probably separates him is his ability to run routes without losing speed. He cuts in and out, and he keeps his momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he's extremely smart. We were able to do a lot of option routes with him, a lot of call it select and decide, where he has 3-way goes, and he understands what coverages are and what people are trying to do, and he just creates great separation. He's a really good football player. But it's just not about him. The linemen aren't blocking, if Brady's not putting the ball where it's supposed to be, making the right read, if he's not getting open, if the other receivers aren't doing their job and holding the safety or holding the corner or making them block, it's a truly group effort. Even I know he gets a lot of the publicity and a lot of the awards, but it was a truly group effort.
Yeah, it was.
And we were so good across the board that you couldn't double team them. Where CJ or Nicholas Teeter or DJ Bryant would hammer you, or the running game would go down your throat. So we it was a full offense of a full team award, I believe.
You call the plays. It's your offense. I gotta ask. You've done some really incredible things. I mean, you just finished your 6th year. Twice now you've had 2 different wide receivers go over 1,000 yards. Your quarterbacks, you look at your quarterbacks that you've had, Diego, Davin, Blake, and now Brady. All of them are different in their own way. Their personalities couldn't be any more night and day, a lot of them. Tell me about the pride you take in what this offense has accomplished and the way it's accomplished it.
So, speaking about the quarterbacks, they're different.
Yeah.
But they're the same. And they're smart.
Right.
And they love football.
Right.
And they live it and they breathe it and they want to be, part of it all the time. All those kids, or young men now, all those guys, would text me, even to now, hey, Coach, I get text from Dad, hey, we're running this, concept. You should add this, oh, it's freaking awesome.
Right.
And, it's a seriousness that group, that's what separates them, is they're all extremely professional, serious quarterbacks. Offensively, man, we've been lucky to have really good football players,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to keep it as simple as we can. That's the whole thing is try to keep it simple, play fast. Know what's going on. Reps, reps, reps. Come to practice. We're trying to get a million reps. Just play fast and play smart and play physical. And that's the other thing we take pride in is we might spread you out, but we're spreading you out trying to run the ball.
Right.
We're trying to get you to a 5-man box, and here it comes. So, but the kids, it's not about me calling the plays or the offense. It's the coaches and the kids who do a great job executing.
An incredible schedule this past year, Coach. The schedule that you put together for last season was, I mean, just mind-numbing. I'm sure even your staff looks at it before you play it, and they go, Jesus, what is he doing to us, right? Take the phone away from this guy.
Yeah.
But what can you tell us about this year's schedule?
Well, we, as of right now, we're playing 2 state champions and
Okay.
a state runner-up. I'm trying to get a 3rd state championship on board, but for some reason the head coach won't call me back. It's been more difficult this year, scheduling games, because I think people don't want that smoke.
Right.
I think people, I've been shocked some of the no's we're getting.
Really?
And we have a 3-team district with us, Astronaut and the Villages.
Yeah.
So, we have to find some games. We have 2 open weeks right now.
Well, did they add the Villages?
Yeah, the Villages. When they released the thing, they were missing one team. It was the Villages.
Okay.
So we have a 3-team district. We have 2 open weeks, and we're trying to find 2 good teams to play.
Nobody wants that smoke. Don't look like it.
It's
How did that extra bye week? I think was it last year or the year before
it
you
was
had.
year before.
Yeah, you didn't like it too much.
No, we want to play games.
Yeah. Well, when you go down to St. Thomas and even though the final score is, when you go down there and beat them, a lot of teams are going to think twice before they say, "Yeah, come play us."
Yeah, but come on, if you're a competitor, it's like you're not going to get ready for the playoffs. You're not going to be ready for the big moments if you don't experience that in the regular season.
No, I get it. Here with head coach Ryan Schneider. Coach, you mentioned, listen, you've accomplished a lot, and I know you went through some things this offseason. And I mean, listen, I'm not sitting here saying anything that nobody watching this interview in this county doesn't know. Okay, it's no secret that you sat back and thought about maybe possibly doing something else or being someplace else next season. And so the question's got to be for you, Coach. What kept you at Cocoa?
I've never made a decision because of money.
Right.
I'm not going to. We all walk our different paths. We all have our different paths we want to follow. It was too difficult to leave the group of kids, the faculty, the administration, our principal, Ms. Stewart. It was too difficult to leave. I'm extremely happy where I'm at. I'm extremely happy what I'm doing every day. It was a offer that was very.
You had to listen.
Yeah, it was an offer that was kind of shocking and flattering.
Right.
And I listened, but at the end of the day, it's the brand's the brand. Coco's Coco.
Right.
And as much as the other offer was a extremely attractive offer, who, I'm sure they're going to do a great job, and they have good administration and a good base. The COCOA, as the kids say, it hits different.
It's different.
It hits different.
It's different.
Yep.
What did you, because I can only imagine Taryn, what impressed you the most about the Cocoa community during that?
Just about the people that reached out to me.
Yeah.
And expressed, Coach, we understand, but, what can we do to help? What can we do to keep you a Cocoa? What can we do to make things that you won't want to leave? And I never really wanted to leave. It was just you had to listen.
You have to listen to that stuff.
And, there was maybe a night where I sat there and really thought about it. But, the more where I weighed things out and the more where I felt, outside of the finances, what's important to me and what's my goals for the future, it's Cocoa. I'm just going to say this, Alan. It's going to be very, after going through this, which I never will go through again, it'll be very difficult to leave Cocoa for a high school job.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You still, one of these days, listen, I mean, you win a couple of more state championships. You surpass Wilkinson, which I can see. You do that. But, I mean, I know how much you love this game. I know how much you love coaching this game. And I know how much you want to coach at the collegiate level. Would you still want to do that?
I don't know, man.
Really?
I don't know. If I'm being 100% honest.
Right.
Like, with everything going on, and it was kind of eye-opening this offseason, with all these college coaches coming in. And if you really paid attention to what's going on in the college coaching world,
right,
there's a lot of coaches, head coaches, leaving
right,
for the NFL jobs and for positional coach NFL jobs. With the NIL and the transfer portal, there's a lot of college coaches who are not happy.
No.
I mean, I've talked to multiple college coaches, and, a guy who I consider my good friend really told me. He was, he's like, I haven't been on a high school campus yet. I think we're the first high school campus he came to. He's like, the first 2 weeks I was, here looking at a kid or here having a kid coming on an official visit for a day. And, the transfer portal has really shake things up.
Right.
And I'll say this. If I'm at Coco for the rest of my life, I'll be
You'll be happy.
I'll be a happy man.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
If I get a chance to go to college, it has to be for the right job. It's
sure.
just not going to be any job. But, right now I'm worried about winning 3 in a row. I'm worried about next year's team and trying to get these guys ready to, keep building on what we build on.
I have to ask this question because by the time you take the field next year, there is a very, very high probability that name, image, and likeness, Coach, is going to be legal through the Florida High School Athletic Association. It's on the table. The polls have been sent out. Have you and your staff discussed how do you deal with this? How do high schools like Coco, high profile, thought of throughout this entire country, as you said earlier, how are you guys going to deal with this?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
It's not
truthful answer.
It's right now when that comes rolling down, we'll deal with it. We'll get together and we'll deal with it. Right now, we're just worried about what's happening, where our feet are right now. What's happening today?
Well, let me ask you this then. You have a lot of kids that you've coached over the last couple of years since this transfer portal in college has come. A lot of kids that 10, 15 years ago would have no problems playing college football.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep them up? Because your job has become exponentially harder.
Yeah.
Getting these kids recruited and helping these kids get to the next level. Because not only has it become more difficult, but the parents have become more difficult. I know you guys hear them in the background. So how have you dealt with this, and how do you keep these kids, these student athletes who 15 years ago would be getting, at the very least, Division II offers? Now they're not getting any, and you've got to they're good players, but you've got to help them.
It's difficult. The one thing we try to do is we try to build our program off of love, where the kids love each other, they love the coaches, they love the program. And, you play for the name in the front, not the name in the back.
Right.
Parents are going to talk. People are going to talk. It is what it is. We're more worried about what's the actual student athlete, what's the kid, doing, how's he feeling. When it comes to signing, right now it's very difficult. I don't know how many kids in the entire county are actually signing D1.
Yeah.
It's probably the lowest. I know I've talked to a couple of recruiting services, and they said it's insane, the drop-off on signings. But we're stressing to our kids, man, any opportunity right now. It doesn't matter if it's NAIA or at FSU. Any opportunity is an opportunity to go out there and play more football. And, as bad as we hate the transfer portal, try to get kids recruited, we have to understand, guys, going to a D2 school and putting 2 years of great film out, it will get you where you want to go. So take advantage of this situation. Take advantage of what is going on. We talk about how are you going to handle adversity?
Right.
There's some adversity right now. How are you
That's
going to
right.
handle it? Yeah, you should be going to a lot better school. But go to where they want you. Go put great film out, ball out, and then, move on.
I've actually started telling the kids, get in there, get on film, just like you said,
Yep.
and then you utilize the system.
Yeah.
You utilize the transfer portal system.
It is. It's the world we're living in. Until they fix something, it's the world we're living in, so you have to play the game.
Yep. Wrapping up here with head coach Ryan Schneider. Coach, out of all the programs that you deal with, and the coaches, they come, they go, what are some of the programs that I guess, like if I said to you, what are some of the model programs out there in your mind?
What do you mean, college?
Yeah, what are some of the programs that, you enjoy dealing with?
Oh, I enjoy all of them. FSU, Norvell's great. Norvell.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like
Like, who
job.
you were, yeah.
Gus Malzahn, being an ex-UCF football player, they treat me great every time I talk to him. He's actually Gus Malzahn's going to be speaking at our football banquet, which I think is February 29th.
There we go. Put it on the calendar.
But all the in-state schools do a great job. I wish some of them would recruit our guys a little bit more.
Yeah.
But all of them do a great job, and we just have to understand that they're all in different positions. They're all in different positions, and you just have to deal with it.
All right, Coach. Super Bowl's on Sunday. Who you got, man?
Well, it's a tough pick. Two great teams, but one team has a Cocoa graduate playing for it, so you got to go with Kansas City, man. Wannings will go out there and put hands on people. And they're going to dominate up front, and, Mahomes is going to be Mahomes, and we're going to keep it rolling.
He gets to go up against your guy down at St. Thomas, too, now in Bosa, right?
No one cares about that St. Thomas kid, man. Screw St. Thomas. Man. It's all about Cocoa, man. Chocolate City, baby.
It's all about Jawan Taylor. I felt so bad cheering against him, but, there's Ravens everywhere. Sorry, Jawan. I was a Ravens fan before I knew you. Man, how much – you look across this county, we're going to have some more Cocoa talent go and play in the National Football League. But how cool is it to look up on a Sunday? Or let me ask you this. I mean, you coach Mike White. You see that guy playing quarterback in the NFL. I know you're a big fan of his. What kind of sense of pride do you get when you see that?
I think it just shows the guys, it shows the young men, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your history is or what your family's history is or, where you're living. If you stay focused, you work hard, you're a good person. You take school serious, you take your off-season serious, you take your career serious. You have a chance. You're not in Montana. You're in the state of Florida where people go to the NFL all the time. If you work hard and stay focused and you're a good person, you have a chance.
Here's the final question for you, and I thought about what the final question would be for you on this interview, and it's this. I often asked recruits, what advice do you have? What advice do you have for a coach watching this that went through what you went through this offseason? What would you tell them looking back? What did you learn, and what advice would you give about it?
So the best advice I got from a college head coach was, Ryan, if you don't want the job with all your heart and when they offer it to you, you're not saying yes right away, then don't even damn try to talk to them. If there's any question or if you're not all in, don't even talk to them. Like that was the biggest thing is if I go back in time, when it came up, I would have said, nah, man, I'm good. I'm staying at Cocoa. There's no question. Because it was agony. It was, life-changing money.
Yes, it was.
And, it's just, if you're not all in, don't even
bother. If you can't say yes from the get-go.
Yeah. If you're back and forth, it ain't even worth it. Stay where you are and keep it rolling.
That's great advice. Absolute great advice. Coach, love it when you come in.
I appreciate it, man. We're going to do this more often, man.
Yeah, we do. I love to just sit here and talk. But it's great to have Coach Schneider in, and we'll get him in one more time before the season starts, and we'll preview the upcoming team. Plenty of time to do that. We still got to get to spring ball, but we just wanted to get him in and take a look back a little bit at the state championship team and talk about the events that occurred since then. And I think he's answered every question and answered it well. So I want to thank all of you out there for watching here tonight. So for head coach Ryan Schneider of the 6-time and back-to-back state champ Cocoa Tigers, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network.